It took me a long time to figure out how to make this video. So I'll start with this. Number one big, huge catastrophe, ecological catastrophe, a disaster in the sea. Number two, the crack, that big crack throughout California is getting bigger. Number three, something will shake Europe, and it will be big. That's all I have been given. Now the second part. I've noticed something. And as I'm a good observer, I've been observing, almost all my life. Or all my life. So I've noticed something very important. I've noticed that this whole fucking mentality in the world that we live in is highly narcissistic. And let me go back in time. For all those people who know the story about Adam and Eve in the Bible, let me tell you one important truth. And that truth is, you people don't know how to read, as I already said it many times before. In that story, just go and look at it and read it yourself. Adam ate the apple too, yes? Yes, he did. And then he blamed Eve. Of course, that was the time when he, as I call it, he's a failed Adam and she's a failed Eve, actually, to cut the story short. Well, that means that the spirit, I will call it a spirit, the spirit of life, or God's spirit, I don't know how else would you call it, that actually helped make this planet and everything on it, something has changed. Something like what? The one who was first created became a different man. He became what I call the failed Adam. He is still the master of the earth, but his spirit is different. And is it any wonder that God, who created all the galaxies and who is almighty and blah, 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 that people write about him? Yes. Yes, he is. But isn't it any wonder that he told to Adam? He didn't tell it to Eve. He told it to Adam. Why? Because he's the first one created. He was the one who was supposed to, be the master of this, of everything on this planet. Yes? Yes. And is it any wonder that God came to him and told him, let earth and everything on earth be cursed because of you. And since then, we have something new on earth that I will call this narcissism. Psychologists call it like narcissism. And so do I, because I don't have any other a better word to describe it. Why I'm saying this, you see, I've seen it, I've traveled a little bit, and I've seen it around the world, everywhere. It's not true that only maybe your family is like that, your mother is a narcissist or somebody in your neighborhood and, oh, he's a very bad man or something like that. No, they usually tell about them the nicest stories, don't they? Yes, they do. And I've experienced here in my country that almost everybody I've met is a fucking narcissist. You know, there are many good things you can find on the internet. I can even recommend like 2 channels that I like about narcissistic people. And it's all true. And I've realized recently, you know, not today or yesterday, just recently, I've realized I've been brought up with a narcissist mother. You know, I always knew something was wrong, and I severed my ties to my family because, as one woman said in her video, and she is a doctor, she said, no, don't expect, you know, if you are a child of a narcissist, don't expect that the rest of your family will, you know, back up you. You know, you will find probably some friends that will back you up or something like that, but not your family. You'll get it from everybody in it. Because you're always bad. You always behaving bad. You do this, you do that. Actually, you don't do anything. You just speak the truth. And the truth that I found out is actually that we live in a narcissistic world, narcissistic family. And as I went on a deep diving, I really discovered it in the story, the one I just told you about Adam and Eve. I already spoke about it in my video, about those 2, but it is the narcissistic Adam, the narcissistic spirit actually, that went around this world. And since then, you put up with every shit that a man can make. Materialistic or non-materialistic, or just you want to live and survive, of course. But you have to put up with a lot of shit. Now, when did God create a human being or a baby? Just a baby. It doesn't matter, kids. When did He create you or them and said, oh, you're gonna suffer, you're gonna this, you're gonna that? No. Punishment was made by those who made the rules. Why do people make the rules? Because they're afraid or of something, or I have a better idea. Because this is the world of illusion. And I always knew it. I saw it. I saw the lie, and I was forbidden to tell the truth. My truth, of course. And yes, this is the world of illusion. But why? Because you people accepted it. And you needed the rules to hide behind the rules, to hide your own, bad things about your character. It doesn't matter what. Because it's important to be, and it's easier to be outside smoothie, inside loony. That's what I call it. It's easier to be like that when you have 60 ton of rules, because it's always somebody else's fault. And if it's always somebody else's fault for something, that's the sign of immaturity. And what is immaturity? Go back to the beginning of the story. Immaturity is that you actually failed in something. You failed in being the master of this planet, like Adam, like it was given to the first man, to Adam. How do I know it? Because when God came to him, he said, so you ate from the apple I forbade you. And he said, it's her fault. It's the Eve's fault. You know who is Eve? Eve is a woman. Mother Nature is a woman. So, you see the connection? If you have any brains, you will see the connection. If you don't, we'll listen to this video again and we'll try to find it. So then make a connection to today's world. And make a connection with everything else that came in this Bible. I was always interested in that God which is not in the Bible. It's not mentioned in the Bible. You know, and that God is the one before the creation. So what happened before the creation? He created the galaxies and planets and everything, like everything you don't even know about it, you know, let's face it. You don't even know about it even today. He created million universes and you motherfucker didn't. You just live here on this planet and you want to fuck me with about money, about job, about how worthy I am, about how unworthy I am. You know, you want to judge me like you are a fucking God, but you are not. This is what you do to your children all the time, since the beginning actually. And this is what you do them today. Only today you call yourselves modern. You call yourselves advanced. You call yourselves, soon you will call yourselves AI, all of you. Yeah, like a few days ago, I made my ID again. And this time I need an ID with I have to have a computer to get, first I have to pay for it, then I get it, then I go to the police station to verify it. I have to imagine something like my PIN, my POOK, my this, my that. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Now I have a fucking robot to tell me if I'm allowed to exist or not. Get the fuck out of my way. I wasn't born to put up with somebody's shit. And neither are you people, but you do it all the time. Why? Because something invisible told you, you must do it or you die. Or you just work your fingers to the bone to pay for somebody's punishments. This is what we inherited from our grandfathers, and something else is what our grandchildren will inherit from us in about, 50 years or something. That will be a fun time to watch. And you know what? People like me and highly sensitive people, like, many of you, we have to be extinct because we only need workers and stupid people, of course. But they have to be highly educated so that they suit our needs and punish the disobedient ones. And so, this is how the world goes on. So, the narcissistic mentality, the narcissistic, whatever it is in English. You know, in my country, in this place where I live, especially if I look back like 20 years ago or even more, when I remember, let's say my grandmother and whatever, these older people, it's considered as normal. You know, these people didn't know too much and we didn't have internet. I didn't know that much either, but I knew something was so fucking wrong, it's unbelievable. Today, I really hope it's not like that, because we have an access to many informations. So, I remember when I was, for example, finishing high school or something, or later on when all my friends, when we were about to enter the college or something like that. I remember all these days, and I remember I was wondering, why is it considered normal? These people are not normal. You go to college and you find these people abnormal. This behavior is not normal to me. And students complain and this and that, blah, 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 and time passes and everything stays the same and nobody says a word. If somebody says a word, oh, it's usually you, the motherfucker who is, why are you complaining? And I've seen it in, when I find a job too, Oh, I'm the thorn in somebody's eye. Whose eye? The one who noticed me. Well, who noticed me? It doesn't matter. Suddenly it doesn't matter that I'm a good worker somewhere or that I do a good job. It doesn't matter. For as long as they can use me for their profit. It doesn't matter. As long as I do a good job, But this is not enough. Because somebody noticed me. Who? The one who is probably some kind of a narcissist or a psychopath or something. And you know what? They've noticed something else too. They've noticed that I'm the first one to tell them, listen, old man, you don't talk to me like that. You want to go to court or something? Yeah, sure, let's go. In fact, that's actually what happened to me. They learn very quickly. I don't allow people to fuck around with me. I'm just here for the job. I'm not here to listen to somebody's bullshit. And then again, I look at some of my friends, like female friends. I've known them since school days, since we were kids. And I look at them and they stay at jobs like that and they swallow tranquilizers and they need this, they need that. One of them is just turned to alcohol because, she can't handle the job. She knows how to do the job. She is there for years. But she can't handle the people, the stress and this and that. Why don't you find another one? Oh, because she thinks this is... she works at the hospital. And it's very hard to find a job. In this country, it's very hard. If you have some connections with people who will put you somewhere, you're gonna stay there for 60 years if necessary. You're gonna suffer unimaginable suffering at work because this is like a state job, You don't work for a private firm and worry about your income and something like that. I mean, one bullshit after another. What if I tell you all to just fuck off? And it happened to me many times. I just told many people, they really thought that I'm going to be here. I'm just doing my job, working for my salary. And the salary is always a bullshit salary. I don't understand why people don't give me any money. They don't give me money, or if you do, it's not enough. And then you expect something from me. I don't know what you expect. You expect something, You know what you expect? You expect from me to be your idiot. And I don't go for that. I went from one job to another. They're all narcissists. They're from one to another. And they like to pretend they're like bigger than you are or something, or bigger than somebody else is. In fact, they're just all mice at the working place. So of course they have to be good with everybody, so that he or she can be everybody's fucking friend, So this is why you always go out, and this is why the stupid and bad people stay. So I'm gonna ask one question to you people. If you've seen all those people, let's say those in the government offices and things like that. I worked at the government office too. Usually they're all motherfuckers who went there to work not by their abilities, but by their family connections, you know. So you don't have a fucking chance when you finish college or something like that. Maybe you can work for 1 year and then, hopefully this, hopefully that. No, there is no fucking hope for you. There is no fucking hope for anybody. There is a hope if you are somebody's, I don't know, daughter or something. It doesn't matter what. Because this is why they are in this place, in government offices. This is why they are in this place in the first place. So I'd like to ask you one question. For you people who've been witnessing this all along, this kind of behavior, this kind of mentality, and it's normalized, it's normal, you know. They hire in those big companies of the world, they hire psychopaths. They hire them. They can recognize them, don't worry. Because people love to be tortured for a salary. Well, maybe I don't. And I'd like to congratulate to the German farmers for doing all those strikes. And then later on, what it was, I don't remember, public transport, and then it was Lufthansa, and that was this and that. Oh, really? You're gonna shit all over me? Really? I'm paying taxes for you. I don't have to work for you. I don't have to work anywhere, actually. You live off of my fucking tax. You live off of my fucking work. You get the fuck out of this place. And let me tell you something else, people. They can put 5 people in prison. Or 50 people in prison. Maybe they can put 1,000 people in prison in one country. But 50, 60 million, they can't put them in prison. They have to think of a solution. And you know, people are tired and bored with bullshit. And I'm also tired of bullshit in my country or in another country. You go in another country, they promise you jobs and this and that. What kind of job can I do in, I don't know, in Austria, in Germany? I can do the same job like here. Maybe if you are highly educated and you've been recommended to some kind of institute, then you can go and work, I don't know, you can go outside and work in, I don't know, Switzerland or Germany, but you can work in a much better position. But what I've seen, what I've seen in Germany, our people live, you know how our people live there? Our people live there like Albanians from Kosovo lived here, like 30 years, when they came here, like 30 years ago. This is how they live there. And number 2, in personal relationships, I've seen that all our people, they all beat their wives. Their wives haven't seen the light of the day except when they go to a shop or something like that. And this is exactly how Albanians lived here like 30, 40 years ago. Exactly the same replica. Because their lives weren't too good, were they? But when they come here for a visit in the summer, they come to visit their families and shit. Oh, everything is better in Austria. Everything is so good in Switzerland. Blah, blah, blah. They're full of some fucking stories. You're just full of fucking stories, And I don't buy that shit because I've seen how you people live there. I knew one woman, actually, she was studying in a... You know where? It was in Karlsruhe. She was studying there, and she asked me to... Well, she was in her last year of studying, and she had to get a degree and blah, blah, blah. And she said, I have a lot of work to do. Can you help me here with the kids? And I said, okay. And I went there for not a very long period of time. And I stayed with the kids, and, she did what she had to at the university. And she told me, oh my God, you are, I'm smart. And she said, you have brains. You have to go here. You have to go there. Go here. Go there. Go to Heidelberg. She wanted me to go to Heidelberg. Why should I be going to Heidelberg? This is what I don't like about our people. They don't know anything about you, or they know very little about you, and then they start telling you what to do, like they know better than you do. Then they start poking, then they start pushing you towards somewhere you don't really care about. And I remember she had a very bad, personality trait that apart from all that I've just said, when she was invited somewhere, I really hate it. But I don't know why people do it, but I hate it. When she is invited somewhere, she asks me to go with her. I said, no, I'm not invited, And she couldn't understand why she used to... why? Because I'm not fucking invited, What's the problem? And she always invited a lot of friends at her apartment, and this and that. It's like almost she was trying to make me feel good and bond with her friends and push me into something I don't care about, While in fact, she was, to me, actually it was rude. Because who are you to tell me how to live? If you need friends, you go with your fucking friends. Don't push me into your circles. Because I don't like it. Well, oh yeah, she was also abused by her husband, and she just ran away from her. Actually, she chased him away, and it was a very hard job. So this is how our people live when they go somewhere else. And they say, oh yeah, it's better here, it's better there. No, it's not better. You will be living the same life here, only for half of the salary. And that's it. So shut up. Narcissistic mentality. Yes, and it's proclaimed as normal here. It's very, very seldom, even when I remember it as a kid, I don't remember any older woman, for example, being happy in her marriage. I don't remember anything like that. I remember women being just stupid servants, and that's all. They live just a little bit better than they do in the Islamic world today. And I was always wondering, is this my future? Oh, really? I'm better off dead, if this is going to be my future. I remember my first boyfriend. Oh, this is a story. I was 16 years old, and so was he. He looked like... He was tall, thin, and he looked... You know what he looked like? He looked like young Robert Plant. He had blonde curls and all that. And I remember that I wanted to meet this guy because, I kind of liked him. And I discovered, they told me that he liked me too. And I was like, oh my God, this is something new. I don't know. And I was all like needles and pins and, there's that feeling. I don't know. It's strange when you're young. And I did. And he was like chasing with other boys and whatever, the kids or something. And I was wondering, well, you came here for me, and now you're playing with some kids. All right. And at that time we were still, it was truce, but basically we were in war with another country, but it was truce at that time when I met him. And I was like, okay. Well, the relationship lasted for like 5-6 days maybe. And, but it was quite an experience. And I remember this. He asked me to walk me home, and I said, okay. And I don't know, I asked him something. I don't know, something harmless. And he just started to be very nervous. I don't know, why should I? And I knew immediately, listen, man, young man, you're not for me. And this is what I told him. Look, he walked me home, and in front of the door I told him, listen, I don't think we are going to be together because you're not the right guy for me. Because I knew immediately he's the guy who beats women. I knew immediately he's impatient. And I knew immediately everything else is more important than me. And this is he kissed me like 5-6 times and that was it. But I knew immediately how to preserve myself from this. And I heard later that he was very sad, that he was crying and things like that. But I never ever knew. It was the first time that I found out that young boys, they have a very strong ego. Well, they still usually live with their parents. They always do, actually, at 16 years old, yeah. That was my first boyfriend, actually, that I recognized within less than a week. And maybe a year later, I was sitting I went out with my friend, I think, and he was there. I had some kind of fear of him, which is bad. If you have fear of somebody's presence, this is very bad. And I remember he came to me and he said that he will remember my name for the rest of his life because, I left him or something. I don't know. Puberty problems. Plus, he told me that he wanted to beat me up because of, I don't know, something that happened a year ago. Whatever, Well, this is just one example that I just told, like many, many years ago. When I was 16, can you believe it, 16 years old? You don't know anything about life, do you? But I've met so many young boys and later on men that behaved in the same manner. You are my ownership. Well, I just say, oh yeah, since when? No, I'm not. Goodbye. As I always said, I mentioned it in one video too. The first commandment that I hear is goodbye. Because I've noticed a long time ago that the first lie is a one-way ticket to the blues. And I don't fucking need it. So, basically, people, the smart one is the dangerous one. Right? Yeah, I was dangerous for many people who've been, how shall I say this, denounced who've been denounced. And they will be in the future, at least in my case. And I was always wondering, I'm not sure if this is a blessing or a curse. Why do I speak to other beings? Why do I notice so many things that other people don't? Or maybe they do, but you know what? They have the habit of beat themselves up if they're not right, you know, or if they're not obedient enough, or whatever the reason is. And that's why they stay in own shit. And many, many times they do stay in their own shit. And if you're like me, for example, and you dare to say something, oh no, this is bad, this is out of the norm. What do you think it's out of the norm? People like me have been saving you for fucking centuries, so shut the fuck up. And we've been good entertainers too. We make careers. We go on TV and entertain people. Because we believe in something that you people don't. You believe in stupidity and obedience. And, oh my God, how should I fit in? You know? This is the advice that my mom gave to me, and this advice basically destroyed my life. What others do, you do. Wherever they go, you go. No, I don't want to, you know. I want to be myself. And that's it. And I constantly meet people who are narcissists. I can recognize them by the look in their eyes. Male and female, both. I can recognize them because there is cruelty in their eyes. I see that cruelty. People usually call it I don't know how to say it, demon. Obsessed or something. Everybody is obsessed with something. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody is obsessed with something. Someone. Whatever. But I see cruelty in their eyes. You know, when singers have concerts and all that, and then people take pictures, blah, blah, blah. I see it in their eyes too. It's hard to explain because you people are not in my place. You don't see the world with my eyes. And that's okay. You go through your own shit. Whatever the shit is, but it's not mine. Oh yeah, and there is another story for you people. It's from maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I like to, sometimes I go to the forest to walk, you know. And I've been carrying a lot of water with me. And, to cut the story short, there was something like up the hill and down the hill, and I had to go up the hill and down the hill. And on top of this hill, there was a car. And there are 2 guys and a little dog on the left side of it, across the stream. This is what it looks like, actually. And I remember I had to go up the hill, and it was very tiring, and I wanted to just go up to the top where their car is and just fix my hair and, you know, and then go down the hill again. And I remember as I did it, the doggy, it was a small dog, maybe like a dachshund or something, that size. And he started barking. You know, I was just fixing hair and I wanted to go down the hill and that's it. And suddenly I hear those two guys, they were across the stream. There is a stream, it's a forest, you know. And one of them screams at me like this, "Mrsh!" Mrsh is something you say to a dog. In my country, mrsh is something you say to a dog. Like, you know, go away, you know. I don't know, how do you say it in English? Like, get lost. You know, he tells me, mrsh. And you know what I did? I just looked at these two guys. I turned around and I looked at these two guys and I said, mrshti. That means mrsh you. You know? You. It's like, you really think you're gonna fuck with me in the middle of the forest? Come on. And they looked at each other. He called the dog. Oh, so you can call the dog, huh? But no, you were waiting for him to bark all the time, so you can say mrsh to me. Really? This is not how it's going to be. I know your game, and I'm not in it. Now you're in mine. So those guys looked at each other. He calls the dog, Mala. I remember the dog's name was Mala. Mala, come here. And the dog came to him, and they just stood there. Well, you knew your car is behind my back, didn't you? You knew, suddenly, you knew you were in the forest, in, you know, practically in wilderness. It's not too far from the town, but, you know, you knew you were here. Suddenly, you know how to behave. But 20 seconds ago, you said mrsh. Really? You found the wrong one to fuck with. Now that was my answer. And what did I do? Nothing. I just took my things and fixed my hair and took my things and went down the hill on the other side. So, oh yeah, I've noticed one important thing. I notice things about people. I've noticed that they both probably had police training or army training. How did I notice that? Because I just did, it doesn't matter. Because I have a good eye and a good ear. Now why did I tell you this story now? Because to let you know what kind of mentality I grew up in. What kind of mentality is in these areas, generally, not here in this place, just generally in these areas, and it's considered normal. Who the fuck are you to tell to a woman in the middle of the forest, mrsh? Maybe I have a gun, maybe I can kill you. You don't know that, so shut up. And don't say to women in the middle of the forest, mrsh. Now, I really have had to pause here because I didn't know really how to say this next thing to you. And what I wanted to say is this. It's very simple, but it's not very too simple to explain. Since the moment you were born, people, you don't really like God, do you? You like to talk about Him, to curse Him, to ask something from Him, because of course this is why He's here. And if you exist, of course you're gonna get, you know, what you need for survival, but you don't like Him. When does that start? I think it starts, well, as soon as you were born, or at least in the kindergarten. It doesn't go later. It doesn't start later. It starts Well, as soon as you were born, I will say that, like that. Why? Because this is the world of illusion, as I already said a million times. And you usually don't get what you expected. Then there is the parent bullshit, and the family bullshit you have to go through. Why is that so complicated? Because your parents usually didn't get what they wanted. They got maybe a bad it doesn't matter, bad marriage, and then they got the kid that they don't really like. They like taking care of somebody. It's all fine and wonderful and nice. But the root of that is only one thing. One simple thing. Possession. Mommy possesses you. I gave birth to you so I can kill you. And dad as well. But he didn't give birth to you. I don't know what he does. He works for a living. It doesn't matter what he does or he doesn't. But he doesn't like you either, does he? And the story goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go into 50 million details. But if you have any fucking brains, people, you'll understand. It goes on and on and on for centuries. And this narcissistic behavior and the behavior of those who put up with all that shit, it's almost like a hereditary disease. Yeah, it's actually some kind of a hatred towards God. Because it's your fault. You didn't give me what I wanted. I don't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. The basic thing is this. You forgot how to communicate. Or the other people around you don't know how to communicate because you forgot. Why? Well, because those first two bit the apple. That's called the fall. I call it failed Adam, failed Eve. So the thing I have to say to failed Adam is, you're filthy. And the thing I have to say to the failed Eve, you're not my God, so piss off. Plus one more thing I'll say. When the story, God created man, blah, blah, blah. Yes, he is the first one created, yes. And that is the problem. Because then he started to, after he bit the apple, he started to control everything and everyone, including Eve and including women everywhere. And, I'm the first one created. You weren't, I have some kind of advantage or something, whatever. But what I wanted to say is actually it's this. You bit the apple, so shut up, everybody. You know why? Because at the beginning, you were the masters. Now you're just failed people. You failed in your mission to be the masters. And you behave like you still fucking are. You aren't. You just here, well, like me. And God was right. You believe He was thinking like this. Oh, so you're smarter than me. Yeah, I'm always here. I give you the earth. I give you this and that. I gave you everything. But you wanted more. And this is what happens to people who want more than it's offered. Plus, it happens to everybody, People are not modest. There's always something more. There's always something more you want or need or get fascinated with something. It doesn't matter what. I'm not judging. I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is, you don't like what you get. You didn't like what you got. And this is the downfall of many people, many nations. And then later they realized they haven't been right all along. And nations generally realize that they've been fooled, because there is no man or a woman smarter than you to tell you how to fucking live. They can build schools and hospitals and, well, thank you very much. Well, I have to pay for it anyway, so you've been very humane, because doctors work for a good salary. They don't want to save your life for peanut butter and jelly, right? Come on, people. You don't give a shit about other people's lives. Even if you're a doctor, you don't. You're a chemist. You're an excellent chemist, and you can produce excellent, medicines, whatever. But now you work in a fucking meth lab somewhere, because it's better money. And don't let me tell you what doctors do. The ones who know anatomy and things. Jesus Christ. Here's another little message for you people. Well, for you who are listening to this after 51 minutes. I'm coming, and I'm going to shake everything you have, people. So, this is what I'm saying. All these things that I've said in this video and, a previous few, it doesn't matter. Or even in some of the last videos from the last year, I have prophecies enough. Yes, when they start coming true, becoming true, you'll be paying me a great deal of your energy and your money and everything else or anything else, just to make up for everything you've stolen from me before. And I'm not joking. I know what I'm saying. You'd rather take away the slice of bread out of my mouth so that you can have more. This is your fucking game. Well, I understood it. And I understood why am I talking about, in this video, why am I talking about narcissistic mentality? Because I feel the changes in the air. Yes, you'll probably be coming to me to get an advice or some kind of help. So let's see. It turns out that I've been challenged. Not you or the government or something. I've been challenged. You want to go to that ride? All right. And by the way, I already mentioned in one video, but people usually don't watch my videos, so whatever. Do you know why Jesus died? He died so that you could understand something. The people who don't understand, they finally Start believing in miracles. Plus, you know why Judas, betrayed him? No, he didn't betray him. He betrayed himself. Jesus only went to the cross, and that's why he knew what's going to happen. Jesus betrayed himself. Plus, he did something else. As it was written, it's written in the book, he was the indicator of the future that will come. People betray. People will know the truth is present and the salvation too, blah, blah, blah. But they will betray everything that they have the most worthy in their lives, the jewel of their life and the light of the world. They will betray the dearest thing that they have in their lives for a handful of fucking money. And then, as I know it, with this money, Judas bought some kind of field. He probably wanted to have a field, and whatever they did, house, I don't know, it doesn't matter. They grew cattle and whatever the field is, wherever it is. He bought some kind of field with that money. And it's called the field of blood, like Ekeldama. And they never planted after Jesus died, they never planted anything there. They never grew anything there because it's the field of blood. Is that the field that the meek shall inherit? With this kind of modern world, I kind of wonder. The field where nothing grows. A cursed field. Why? Because of the failed Adam at the beginning. And this story shows to me, what it means to me is this. Those who spoke like his word, God's thing, they're still remembered, whatever. Those who didn't, they left after themselves barren land that nobody wants. And yes, it's incredible how people like that are so self-confident, These are male games after Adam ate the apple. These are boys' games. Fuck up the other guy so that I can have more. Because self-preservance is very, important. I really want to thank someone in this video. I always spoke about my dreams, how they come true, or they show me the way. I get poems right after I wake up in the head, so I write things down, And I'd like to thank everybody from this out of this world that helped me, because I know who they are. They told me their names. I'm not going to tell you their names. I want to thank those angels. They deserved it. Oh yes, and thank God, thank Jesus, thank Vera. She lived in my country, and she told me lots of things that are going to happen. And you know what, people? when all these things start to happen around you and in your life, when you start losing, you're going to come back to me. Or you're going to come to me for the first time maybe. It doesn't matter, but I'll make you pay. Because I'm the one, as I said, who can feel the changes in the air. I'm the one who practically has nothing. You left me with nothing, and look what I can do. So, when we kind of switch places or something like that, let me see how you feel then. The worst revenge that you can have is an emotional revenge. Thank you, God. Thank you.